bro, because I'm about to kick you out of here. You know I always show proof. And then when I do, that's when your ass leaves. So lie again, bro. Lie again. Like, bro, get up out of here. Lie again.
And TDA as well.
That's Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Neoms on her recent trip. She joins us now. Thank you for having us at the department.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here today.
First, I want to ask you about President Trump. He said the attacks on Teslas. Do you see that as domestic terrorism?
I do, and it's an act of violence, and it has ramifications on community members, and at times has risked people's lives. I do see that as an act of domestic terrorism, and we certainly have a president who's willing to use his full authorities to go after people that choose to destroy people and communities and businesses in the way that people have.
I want to talk to you about your trip. El Salvador, Colombia, Mexico. What did you take away from that?
Well, my task as Homeland Security Secretary is to secure the homeland of the United States of America. So I have jurisdiction over every person that comes in and out of this country, every product that comes in and out of this country, and everything that transpires over the internet. Talking to these presidents of these three countries was very productive. I had a conversation with the president of El Salvador about the TDA members that he accepted and took into his C-COP prison. We toured that prison, which I'm sure you are well aware of.
I mean,
and
that was
saw
some
the
of the most
conditions
striking images from that trip
Yeah.
of you touring that prison. Just the image alone, was that sending a message?
Yes, people need to see that image. They need to see that the United States is going to use every tool that we have to make our communities safer, that is a consequence of someone who is a terrorist. The president has declared Tren de Aragua and MS-13 as terrorist organizations, and the president of El Salvador has as well. The only people allowed in that prison are terrorists. And to tour that and to look at that was giving the American people the transparency that they want out of their government. They were able to see exactly where we're sending these people who have murdered and raped Americans, that have decimated communities. And there's going to be consequences for individuals who continue to do that.
But the libs will tell you and lie to you and go like, oh, there's innocent people in here. There's some innocent Americans, but they don't have no names. They don't got no names, but they'll tell you there's innocent Americans in here. I keep telling y'all, ask for these names. If they can't give you no names, they're lying to you.
My conversation with that president was, will you take more of these terrorists? And he said, absolutely, we will. We will take the worst of the worst and make sure that they're facing consequences for what they've done to your country.
I think there's a lot of people who look at this, Madam Secretary, and say, yes, get the bad guys out. But they want to make sure that the people that are rounded up and taken out are really those guys. There are some allegations from activists and media and immigration attorneys that a few of the people you sent to El Salvador via the Alien Enemies Act are not members of criminal gangs, or that they might not be. Do you see those as credible at all? And if you found out, would you work to take them out of El Salvador?
I trust our intelligence agencies and the intelligence individuals that are within the Department of Homeland Security.
So this is the thing. That's what I think Levitt was talking about. Like, yeah, why don't you go ask these intelligent service, like, these intelligent agents? Ask them. Why don't y'all talk to them instead of making up lies on the news talking about, oh, they're sending back like citizens? It's like, bro, prove it. What citizens? What are their names? How are y'all talking about there are citizens being sent back, but you do not have one name? That is stupid. Like, how do y'all even believe that? Really? Oh, somebody's missing, an American citizen? Oh, they're American citizen, then you should know their name. Why don't y'all? Because it don't exist. Oh, there are people sent back that wasn't even gang members. I mean, they were marked by gang members by our intelligence services. So that means these people had access to their communications, their calls. I mean, bro, social medias, all that. And you're going to try to tell me you know more than them? Bro, y'all need to get the hell up out of here, bro. I ain't gonna lie, y'all think too highly of yourselves sometimes.
The individuals who are there are members and a part of this organization and have worked with them. And while we were there at that prison, we not only talked about how to identify these members of these terrorist organizations, but what they did, their actions they took, the case files we built on them, and how we verified that those individuals should be there in that prison.
So we'll
continue to do that. I am.
Yep.
I am very
verified through case files too. So pretty much he's saying that, yo, all these guys are criminals. If we do not, we either have a criminal record of them in El Salvador, or we have a criminal record of them in America, or worse, both. Yes, Yes, bro. There's criminals who've literally committed crimes in their country and our country that we've deported. I know. Right.
Very confident in the
Crazy.
fact that those individuals that are there should be there, and that by belonging to these organizations, they were choosing to be on the side that wanted to destroy the United States of America.
Immigration enforcement is one of the biggest things that is a positive for President Trump right now, yet Democratic lawmakers talk about it a lot. Take a listen.
Any immigrant can be accused of association with gangs and cartels, and they will be deported without due process of law.
There's not much to this president's agenda. It's tax breaks for the rich and rounding up immigrants. That's the whole program.
You have to have due process. What?
Tax breaks for the rich and rounding up immigrants. I mean, the same tax breaks that helped us too. Yeah, I forget to leave that part out. Oh, I mean the same tax breaks that lowered our taxes too. Hey, don't forget that part. But let's go back to it because this lady be tripping.
Any immigrant can be accused of association with gangs.
Not any immigrant, any illegal immigrant who got in here, who have gang tattoos and gang ties. Yes, they will get up out of here through the Aliens Enemy Act. Yes. I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. He could even say about the Venezuelan government is an enemy government that is pretty much sending over their citizens to invade us. He can get almost any Venezuelan illegal immigrant out of here without gang ties through the Aliens Enemy Act.
And cartels, and they will be deported without due process of law.
There's not much to this president's agenda. It's tax breaks for the rich and rounding up immigrants. That's the whole program.
You have to have due process. What have you got?
Tax break for the rich and rounding up immigrants. I mean, here's the thing. Y'all wasn't doing nothing about these immigrants. And y'all were taxing the rich until they left us with no jobs. So here's the thing. Y'all taxed the rich and we lost jobs. Y'all let immigrants in, and I mean, people were getting hurt and we were losing our social cohesion. So who are y'all to say anything? That's what I would say. Like, who are y'all to say anything after what y'all just allowed to happen to the American people over the past 4 years? Who are y'all to say anything?
Got the wrong person. That is the whole.
Who? Oh my God. I'm getting tired of hearing this story, bro. Because one, it's already been debunked. The 5 people that they were talking about, their names and all, wasn't even on the plane being sent to Venezuela or El Salvador. It wasn't even on the damn plane. So the 5 names that they were bitching about wasn't even there. So that's when I tell you guys, all right, who are the names of these people? Y'all can't give me them because the names that they gave out, the judge gave out, weren't even on that plane. So he pretty much complained for no reason. Waste of time.
That's the whole program.
You have to have due process. What if you got the wrong person? That is the whole point of all of this.
And here's the thing. None of them want to prove to us that we got the wrong people. Okay, cool. Our intelligence agency did their best to find out who these people were, brought them in, got them locked up. Our intelligence agents, they have their private information that you guys aren't. They can look up these guys' text messages and all that. They're all their communications that can show that they are in line with gang members. Who cares what these guys say? Let's talk about what our intelligence agents found out. And why don't y'all then find a way to interview them? Get them on there. Or you can find out the names and show us proof that these guys aren't illegal immigrants or gang members.
So what do you say to those Democrats and what's happening now with Tom Holman and what you're seeing on the border?
I would say those Democrats are doing exactly what they've done for years. They're trying to use fear to control people. They're using fear to promote their agenda and lying about what the situation is really here on the ground. We are doing due diligence to make sure that we're going after these criminals that have perpetuated violence on American citizens, and we're removing them from our country. Our president has told us clearly he's prioritizing these criminals and the worst of the worst, those with final removal orders, and that we're making sure that not only did we secure our border, but that we're making sure we don't let those people back into this country. We have deported over 120 people that are on the known terrorist watch list out of this country, over 800 TDA members, and over 100,000 different arrests have been made of criminals that are out of this country. Every single family that can identify with Laken Riley's family, Jocelyn Nungary's family, people who were devastated by these criminals are thankful that they're gone, and President Trump is on the right side of history.
Do you think the Mexican president, you talked to her, is doing enough to defeat the cartels down there?
We talked extensively about that. I gave her some options of more she could do. She's participated a lot on our southern border, but we want her to secure her southern border with Guatemala. We want her to share some more information with us. Right now, we don't scan every single shipment that comes into this country over air freight. We have some information sharing that could happen on criminal background checks. So I gave her a list of things that President Trump would be very happy to see. And she was remarkable. It was supposed to be a half-hour meeting. We met for almost 2 hours. Very productive. She did sign some of those agreements with us, and I asked her specifically to share biometric information with us, and she's willing to discuss that, even though that in her country would be a little bit controversial. But she's putting a good faith effort. But President Trump is clear. He doesn't want people to keep talking. He wants to see action, and she has an opportunity to do some things that I will give.
My bad, guys. My bad. What I was pretty much making the stance on was that, yeah, like there were unaccompanied minors that made it into this country, and we don't know who they are, where they came from, because we have no biometric data on them. Once we get the biometric data, we can find some of these kids, and we can be like, all right, cool. So, Z, you're a U.S. citizen being trafficked, a El Salvadorian citizen, a Venezuelan citizen being trafficked. Either way, we know where to send you, and you just ain't here, and we're just ain't looking at shit like, I don't know. We just found this kid in a basement somewhere, and we don't know where the hell he's from.
Give a report to the president on and see if we can deal with the tariff situation that may be facing her people.
Madam Secretary, you talk about the terrorist watch list and the people rounded up. We are removed from 9/11, but the terrorist threat is still there. What do you tell people about what you see every day, knowing what you know about the terrorist threat facing this country?
That it's very real. It could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. We have people in this country that would do 9/11 all over again if given the opportunity. And we have to have a strong president that stays dedicated towards securing not just the interior of our country, but the exterior, and using every tool that he has to fix what Joe Biden broke. Joe Biden purposely broke this country and our democracy and put us at grave risk. So I'm so thankful that we have a president that recognizes the threats that we have and lets me do my job to follow through on what task he gave me.
We had a lot of focus on the Doge interviews I did with Elon Musk and members of that Doge team. They've been in every agency. I assume they're here.
They are.
You're working with Doge. What are they finding, and are they rooting out some of the waste fraud?
Yeah, they've been fantastic. We have worked with them. I take a lot of extra items to them, all my contracts, evaluations, people who are in position, should they be there? Is this the mission that that agency was created for? What can we do to become more streamlined and efficient? They have been extremely helpful in helping us identify that and looking at where the American people are getting ripped off. And that they're tired of. I tell everybody that every dollar that goes out the door that shouldn't be spent is somebody's Social Security check that won't be there someday when they need it. And President Trump, by allowing Elon and the Doge team to
I mean, bro, every wasted tax dollar was a dollar. I could have just let my ass have. It's like I said, if the government ain't got nothing else better to do with this money, y'all need a pay cut. Like ASAP, you need a pay cut. There should be no reason y'all got a $6.8 trillion budget and y'all spending it on bullshit. Like, bro, y'all should be able to account for all 6.8 trillion. Tell us what you've used it for to either help American people or keep American people safe. Instead, we're finding out that millions of dollars is being thrown into the fire for useless ass agendas that don't help us. They don't help us at home. They don't help us socially. I mean, nothing helps us. That's the problem. All this you would say, how does this help us overseas? How does this help us at home? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. That's why it's almost crazy to sit there and be like, hey, yo, why are we letting y'all keep all this money if y'all not going to use it for us? If y'all just going to waste it on stuff? Y'all might as well just go ahead and cut taxes and let us keep most of our taxes and go ahead and take a pay cut. Maybe you don't need 6.8 mil. Maybe you need 3 mil. My bad, $6.8 trillion. Maybe you just need $3 trillion. So, like I said, let's cut y'all spending so y'all can start, I don't know, being a little bit more frugal with y'all money.
be in here and evaluate everything.
I'm sorry, with our money.
really brings a new accountability to government that we've never seen. And is it going to be ugly? Absolutely. For these bureaucrats here who are fighting us every single day, who don't want the dollars to quit getting spent, who want to keep their jobs, yeah, they're going to fight back. But I will tell you, this government is more responsive than it's ever been before. It's refreshing to be here under an administration that truly gets up every day and decides, you know what, today I'm fighting for the American taxpayer. Taxpayers oftentimes in our offices don't have a lobbyist that shows up for them. There's lobbyists that show up for every other industry and every other contract and every other business. The American common man deserves a person that will sit there and lobby for them, and that's President Trump.
Well, Madam Secretary, thank you very much. We'll talk down in the National Operations Center in a bit.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click.
Man, that was actually a pretty good one. All right, let's go to Charlie Kirk, and let's see, he's going to debate the birthright citizenship argument. You know how some of these Dems pretty much saying, oh, well, these anchor babies should be able to stay. We should give their parents citizenship, and we're just looking at y'all like, no, we're not. Nope, I don't like that. Take that somewhere else.
Into doing that too. Who's up next? Who disagrees? Yeah.